From Academy Award-winning filmmaker Peter Jackson comes The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, the second in the trilogy of films adapting J.R.R. Tolkien's masterpiece. The film continues the adventures of Martin Freeman's Bilbo Baggins as he journeys with Gandalf and 13 dwarves led by Thorin Oakenshield on an epic quest to reclaim the lost dwarf kingdom of Erebor. Having survived the beginning of their unexpected journey, the company continues east, encountering the Skin Changer Born, a swarm of giant spiders in the treacherous Mirkwood Forest, and finally to the Lonely Mountain itself, where they must face the greatest danger of all, the dragon Smaug. We caught up with some of the cast to talk all things Peter Jackson, Tolkien, and sequels.
I will not risk this quest for the life of one burglar.
His name is Bilbo.
The end of the first movie, when Thorin and Bilbo really kind of reach a good place in their relationship, is a bit of a springboard for the beginning of the second film, because the one thing that was troubling Thorin through the first film was the burden of having to take Bilbo Baggins on this quest, the liability of that. So he's sort of relieved from that stress, and Bilbo proves himself time and time again.
He becomes more sure of himself because he's put to the test and not found wanting. You know, he's pushed into action, literally into physical and violent action, and making decisions. You know, where he actually has to it's a do or die for Bilbo. You know, more than once.
We're supposed to be leading us out, not further in. I know what I'm doing. This way. Into the barrels, quickly. Are you mad? They'll find us. No, they won't. I promise you. Please, you must trust me.
The second film introduces a number of new characters, including Tauriel, head of the Elven Guard, Bard the Bowman, and the Master of Laketown, played by Stephen Fry, who joined Andy Serkis for a face-to-face interview to swap stories of working on set, directing the second unit, as well as performance capturing the Dragon Smaug with Benedict Cumberbatch.
The tales and songs fall utterly short of your enormity, O Smaug, the stupendous.
So, Steve, you knew Peter. Obviously, you've known Peter for quite some time, haven't you? When did you first meet?
I first met Peter, actually, thanks to the later very much lamented David Frost, who had in his head the idea to make a film of the Dam Busters. And they asked if I would consider writing the screenplay. And then we got friendly and chatted whenever he and Fran were in London. And he said, do you remember a character called the Master of Laketown? And I thought, really? No. So I reread The Hobbit and discovered that, in fact, the character is almost mostly referred to by others. He kind of, but Peter said, no, don't worry, we'll really build him up, we'll have such fun.
You picked the wrong man to tangle with, Master Bard.
I saw that you and Peter and everyone at the Weta Labs had sort of pioneered this motion capture technique that you used to go on, which was simply remarkable, and you obviously know more about it than most people, and presumably, as second director, you supervised some of the actors who hadn't used it before and helped them with the technique.
In actual fact, that was one of the few areas that I did operate in. I mean, it was all. You know, when Peter asked me to come and direct the second unit, I thought that's exactly what would happen. That I would be because there were a number of characters. There were the trolls, and then there were, and obviously, you know, Smaug was going to be with Benedict coming in. He was going to play Smaug using performance capture, which he did. He did a certain amount of. And I had some meetings with Benedict to talk about that, and he wanted to know he wanted to know how much he was going to be able to put of himself into that role. Right. And I said, you've got to just push for it, and you know, I think it's one thing to play Gollum, which is a fairly humanoid character, but to play a 150-foot dragon is quite another thing.
Thief, where are you? Come now, don't be shy. Step into the light.